So welcome to Promote, Profit, Publish. I guess we had a few problems, I'm sure you guys know, getting in today. So hopefully we'll have more people here soon. Before we get started with our guests today, I want to remind you we have our book innovation panel coming up on December 16th, 9 a.m. Mountain Time. You can register for that at bookinnovatorssummit.com. We have 3 people who've been in the book marketing industry for a while that have created new products and services for book marketing. As you guys know, my company's been developing them as well because we are long overdue for a book marketing revolution. So we've been creating new AI products with not only with Gary, but with Tracy Hazard's group as well. So we're going to have a lot coming over the horizon. But Desiree Duffy, Kathleen Kaiser, and Jared Kuritz are all going to talk about what they're doing that's new and improved to get you guys out there. So there's that. Next month in January, we're going to kick off the year, right, with Lin Yuan Su and new chapter, Mindset Secrets for Authors Who Want to Lead. So we're going to talk about getting your mindset ready for 2026. And she is a fantastic mindset coach. She's up in Canada. So that's January 9th, 2026, and you can register for that. So one other thing, I'm going to put it into the chat. We have changed the Breakthrough Author magazine. It is now a weekly magazine, and it's going to be going out. You have to go over and re-register, but we have an AI component to it, so we can do it with 6 or 7 articles, a book of the week. We have a lot of things going on with it, but it's going to change to weekly in 2026. But we are putting out a few of those issues right now as well. So for people on the call who don't know what that is, it's help for authors. So whether it's writing, we have Cameron from Plotter is going to be on there. Desiree Duffy is contributing quite a bit to it. So we have a lot of people that are contributing weekly on that. And also Procise is. So if you need help with your podcast, you can get that over there as well. I will drop that link into the chat as well. So today's guest trainer is Shannon Procise, and she is a publicity and marketing expert who has helped hundreds of authors and business leaders gain exposure in outlets like Business Insider, NBC, CBS, ABC, and Fox. She's the founder of the Business Acceleration Network, where she teaches entrepreneurs and authors how to build visibility, credibility, and lasting community. And she's also the author of Media Magic, Instantly Get Radio, TV, Print, and Internet Press to Give You Limitless Publicity. And it's a guidebook for getting published, building media connections, and creating Raving fans. Her proven systems, she's generated millions in free press and has supported authors in turning their books into powerful tools for influence and income. So, welcome, Shannon. And where can we buy your book, by the way?
Actually, I give it away for free. And they can buy it there at a discount. But if they go to MediaMagicBook.com, a strategy I learned from our infamous Juliet Clark. If you go to MediaMagicBook.com, then you can download it, and you do have the option to buy the hard copy and mark it up. It is a workbook, so it is actually really good to get the hard copy.
Okay, well, I will let you take it away. And then I noticed Lynn is on, so I'll let Lynn talk a little bit at the end about what we're going to be doing next month.
Easy.
Go for it. You have your stuff.
Perfect. Well, first off, thank you so much, Juliet. And we are so honored to have somebody like you that's so passionate about helping getting messages to the masses. And one of the things I love, I've had the opportunity to work with Juliet over the years, both on helping the authors get major media, so they get those cool logos and Business Insider and Fox and ABC, whether it be best-selling campaigns. But the thing that I love is she really is in line with helping create your book into like a movement. And that's what we're going to be talking today about, is turning your readers into raving fans. And if you love Juliet, if you can just put a Y in the chat, that would be amazing. Because I am definitely one of her raving fans. I have the opportunity of working with various publishers, and I just have learned so much from you, Juliet, and your integrity. And I have to say, one of the biggest things that I've learned is how many publishers will say one thing, but when you read the contract, it's a right? Like, even, I had see people on the Christian bookmark, seen the Hey How. I mean, it's just like, and I love that you're so direct and so thank you for this opportunity.
Oh,
Um,
you're welcome. And I will mention in February, we are actually the training is going to be me, and we're going to talk about contracts and copyrights, how they've changed with AI. So it's something to not miss because there are a lot of changes.
Yeah, and Juliet, please, as I'm going through this, chime in. You know what I mean? Because we've worked together for a long time. So if there's something where you're like, "What about this?" or "What about that?" I love your input. So again, it's about how to create lasting engagement with readers so they become your best promoters, really creating the raving fans. And so part of how I got my experience is working with a ton of people. I love doing events. I've been able to do over 600 events, and I found that community is a catalyst for just about anything. And it starts with who you know. It's like your first community is already around you. They're readers, they're customers, they're your family, they're your friends. We all have community around us. And so, but every strong movement begins with the people that are closest to us. And when you work with Juliet, it's like she is your raving fan, right? And so, why does this matter? Most authors stay focused on sales. The real strength is in loyal readers, and a strong community increases your reach and your income. I'm going to go through a few slides, but most of this I'm just going to share, tell stories, and hopefully get to know a little bit more about where you're at. And so, this is really an author ecosystem. This is, our initial, and all of you are in different phases. I'd love to see in the chat, like, do you have a book? Are you working on a book? Like, let me know where are you at in your stage. But everybody is working on attracting readers, engaging readers, retaining readers. And our goal today, and hopefully through this, that you're inspired to how to turn those readers into advocates and raving fans and letting people know about it. So let me just share a couple things, and then I'm going to give you a quick tool and exercise. And just so you don't have to build community on your own from scratch. That does take time and energy. You can also join a community, you can contribute to community, or just build your own in simple ways that fit your life. There's no one path. It's the path that works for you. And that's what's so cool. You're going to hear I'm a raving fan of Juliet. What Juliet does is, like, right now you're stepping into this powerful authors community. So a little bit about myself and why, kind of what got really passionate about community is when I was younger, I learned something that just shaped my life forever. I learned that even in the toughest of moments, there's always somebody who's willing to help you if you let them in. There was a time where I really hit a rough season. Things were tight. I was unsure on how to move forward. And instead of staying silent, I shared with a friend, and I also talked to a neighbor, and I said, I need help. And so that one moment changed everything. It was like within hours, people had showed up with food, guidance, support. It was like all of a sudden I had this community around me just by asking for help. And it taught me something that's really simple and powerful, that we're never alone. Help and support is always closer than we think. And people want to give. They just need to know, what do we need and how do we help? And we got to make it simple. And so this is also true for authors. Readers love helping authors they believe in. They'll give you feedback. They'll share your posts. They'll join your events. They'll share your message. And so you just have to ask. So how many of you have heard of the book, The Economic Experience, or read that book? Nope. Okay. This is a really powerful book because this really talks about people will pay for experiences more so than other things. So it talks about, in the book, one of the things, people will go to 7-Eleven and get 99-cent coffee. But yet, if they go to Italy, I don't know if any of you have been to that, the first coffee shop in the world, they'll pay $35 for a cappuccino, right? And so it's really about the experience that we create. And so your book matters, and it's the experience around your work that keeps the readers engaged. And so They come for your story. They stay with how you make them feel as readers. So strong community comes back to connection, learning, laughing, growing, and being seen. For them, it's like they want to be seen by the author, and that's what makes people stick around. So today I'm going to go through what I call the 5 C's of community and creating raving fans. But before that, I want to share a really powerful tool, an elevator pitch tool that can change everything. Because at the end of the day, when we create raving fans, we want it to be simple for them to share who we are. And the easier it is for them to know and share who we are, the easier it is for our brand to, be infiltrated into the world to create a movement. And it does start with the key language that we use and how we do that. And so I have found that this thing is a game changer. I'll plug it into the chat, I think, because you can actually give it as a prompt into AI. I love AI. And then I'm going to give you a couple of examples. This works with speaking gigs. This works with if you're creating social reels. I mean, this is so many individuals that it helps with. So let me share a couple of mine, just as an example. I help visionary leaders build thriving communities and raving fans without feeling overwhelmed, right? That's the pain point, what they hate, by marketing so they can attract ideal partners, clients, and opportunities with ease. So again, I'm going to go back. It's like I help what's your target avatar to desired outcome without what they don't like, and so they can the ultimate goal. Here's another one. And I know many of you may have different ways of helping people, so you can customize this, but I help businesses and organizations get featured in major media without hiring expensive PR firms so they can gain visibility, credibility, and consistent clients. So do you hear how short and sweet that is? And if you say that over and over and over in what you're doing and in your messaging, your raving fans, they can duplicate it. And that's part of the idea. One is so that people know who you are and they can lean in, but the other is that it becomes duplicatable, right? Any comments and questions or anything on this part? I'm going to pause now. And does anybody have anything like this?
Yeah, I've done that years ago on my website to describe in a nutshell the purpose of my online ministry. But I haven't done it, what you're suggesting, to help brand my book that I want to get, make workshops from and that sort of thing. So
Yeah,
so thank you for sharing that and for putting it in the text so I could do a copy and paste into my notes.
Yeah, that's awesome. And start using it. I mean, if you guys are going to
Yeah.
events or you're networking, or one of my favorite TikTokers, she always shares kind of that key point, kind of catch your attention, and then she shares this bold statement, right? So it's really powerful and it makes it clear. And every single video has it. So I can repeat her message, right? So that's really what we want to create in getting clear in the communication. Anybody else want to share before I get into the 5 C's in the first one? Perfect. So the first C is connection. Connection. People want to feel seen and heard. They want a voice and they want to matter. And so I'm going to share with you simple tools to stay connected. And there's different phases. What do you do before the book comes out? How do you keep readers engaged during the launch? And how do you create momentum after the launch? And so before the launch, it's like asking for input, share behind the scenes, build an interest list, right? To have where they can opt in now and learn now. Invite beta readers to engage in what you're doing. During the launch, welcome readers, encourage reviews, host events, and always in all of this stuff, have a clear call to action. You really want to be clear call to action. After the launch, stay in touch, share insights, ask questions, invite them into a community, right? Invite them into your own community and really look at how do they stay connected? How is their voice heard and how are they seen? And so Some of the ways of doing that is we all should have an email newsletter, right? But that is one too many. And when we talk about creating raving fans, always remember they want to be seen and heard. And an email is essential, but when you do an email, you want to always have engaging questions. Invite them to reply. Every single email should have something that encourages them to respond back to you, right? That's where they're seen and heard. That's where they feel a part of something that's there. Also, you want to engage input, right? And make it really easy for them to connect with you. The biggest thing is engagement. The key word is engagement and giving them a voice to be seen and heard. The other thing is social media. How many of you love social media? Okay. I know some of you well, and you've heard me say, I am on social media because I know we need a presence, but I not necessarily a raving fan, and I'm aligned with in some of my mentors. I love this input where they're laser focused on one or two. They're not all over the place. One of my biggest mentors is in one. She has the thing on one place, but where she nurtures, where she comments, where she does things is where her ideal audience is. And I'm watching her business explode financially, time-wise, and community-wise because she's channeling her energy and focusing on one place. And so I'm just planting that seed because it's pretty cool and part of the social media piece with creating raving fans. It's like choose one or two platforms, give them short updates, share quotes, share progress, be vulnerable, right? And I have to tell you with AI, if you're putting memes and dashes in it, people right now are not reading your stuff. It is huge. If you have those little it says AI all over it. And so take the time to make it your own. Stay away from those memes. Stay away from the dashes, go in and change them to comments because there's so many people I talk to right now and they're like, if I get an email newsletter or I get an update and it has it in it, I don't even look because I know it's not Amanda or Juliet. And so this is the consensus that's out in the marketplace. Use AI, but make it your own and align with the words, right? Like our words have a frequency, have a vibration. And when we want to attract our tribe, we have to really make sure we do that. And always engage with comments, right? More than pushing stuff up. I mean, the other thing that this person is sharing is like she really focuses on 3 good posts a week. That's her primary focus. How do I create the most engaging, personal 3 good posts that people can read it, see it, connect with what's there? So she's mastered, and there's many people that I'm seeing follow suit with less is more, right? So we want to do this without burnout, without headaches, without scrambling all over the place. And it's totally possible. And a lot of people are doing that. So create an online community, whatever that looks like for you. There's some separate platforms that you can use. It could be Facebook. But when I said newsletters are one to many in communication, when you want to create raving fans, they need to be heard, right? And they like to be heard and they like to share. And so, having your online community or being a part of a community is just as powerful, right? If you don't want to manage it, go join another community that you can share and be a part of. And the last thing in the communication is live events. Does anybody here? I know, Lynn, you do incredible and in-person events too, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Does everybody do events?
Yep.
Yep, yep. I think I see all of you. I'm getting to know you, Terry. So live or virtual events are really powerful. I love what Juliet's doing with the panel discussions, but with the raving fans, Juliet's got a broader range. With the raving fans, a Q&A session may be more attractive for some of the readers where they can just come and ask you questions and get input and get feedback, workshops, and even some deeper reader connection where you might dive deeper on your subject. And so in the beginning, when readers feel like they can help you shape something, they feel included and they support you for years. So you heard Juliet talk about my book, Media Magic. And we all kind of know what we know and we got to follow what it is. But it was so fascinating because in the beginning, I went to Facebook and I wrote, here are three book ideas, title ideas. Here's what the book's about. And I put D as other. And I said, I'd love your feedback. I am telling you, I must have gotten 80 replies. And I ended up taking this piece from this piece and came up with my book title. And guess what? Everybody felt involved, engaged. It got the momentum going. So that can work with workshops. That can work with business. You may already know what you know, right? Like I already know what I'm calling this, but if there's a way to engage community in giving you feedback, it's incredible. So I'm going to pause right there. Is there any questions on community? Juliet, am I doing all right here?
Yeah, I do have a question.
Yes.
So, I know a lot of people used to go over to Facebook and create communities. Do you recommend that anymore? Because I found when I did it, I got a bunch of self-promoters who came in and they didn't really respect that it was a group for authors. They just came in and promoted themselves. Do you still recommend doing that, or is that something that's old? Because I hear every once in a while people say, I'm going to go do it. And I kind of tell them like,
Yeah. If it's only your readers, I think it's great. So if you have the gateway in, does that make sense? Where you decide who comes in and they've purchased your book, then, or they're on your inner team, then you really control the narrative more so than the free for all, open, invite, public things. And what I've found, because I'm kind of been anti-Facebook myself, is that it is really pushing the groups above all the other posts and the business pages. The groups are the things that are really standing out and tends to get more attention. And it's all about that container that you build. So if you're selling your book on Amazon, like with Juliet, one of the things I did with my book was I said, first off, when I'm going on the radio, I don't say go to Amazon. I say go to my website and I'm giving you this free gift. So I encourage people to go to my website so I get the email, all the contact information, and I work that out. And I know that's a little more work, right? And Juliet, if I'm talking out of context, please bear with me. If they purchase it on Amazon, I love in the book saying, send me your receipt to the Amazon thing and you get this free gift. So I'm always getting those names of who my readers are and putting that, in an email sequence. Hey, join my private reader exclusive Facebook group. And Juliet, if that's how it is, where it's only that container, they're there for a purpose. They're not there for self-promoting. They want to hear from Amanda, if that makes sense.
So you basically create a lead magnet, it sounds like. So bring me your receipt is, in essence, a way to get people on your list.
Yes, because what happens is, with Amazon and all of these is that we never know who buys our books.
Right.
So in the book, if you have a page that says, hey, send me your receipt, email it here. So they email it. So you get their email and I'll send you this free gift. So like mine was, you get a training from Jay Abraham's ghostwriter on how to write good copy. Right. So, and when you're on the radio, Juliet, even though they would get it cheaper on Amazon, they wouldn't know in the book it said that, but they would go to my website as opposed to Amazon, which I would make more money because that free book, and it was all automated, right? Once they bought it, that digital product comes and they're in my database.
Yes. And that's where you guys have to kind of balance. What is my goal here? Is it to make money from the book or to bring in that community that may buy those bigger products and services from you? Because remember, you're probably making between $1 and $3 a book versus a coaching program. If you can nurture those people with the book, then, it could be thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Yeah. So just so you know, they rarely send me the Amazon and other receipts. So my best bet is selling them from my website. It is a little more work because of the fulfillment, but that email does lead to clients. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just like what we're doing here does. People show up to these and eventually, a lot of them become clients. So it's sort of the same thing. I've got their information and now I can nurture them. So consider yourself all nurtured.
Awesome. Okay, number 2 is a cause. A movement grows when you stand for something. And a book is not a product. It's a message that's a spark, and your mission is the cause. And so part of why I love sharing that elevator pitch piece in the beginning is that you always in a community want to be casting your vision. It's so important to be casting that vision, letting them know what it is that you're working on, and readers will follow a purpose, readers will join a movement. Does that make sense? So always cast your vision. And I love sharing this story. I had a nationwide organization, and after 6 years, we were in 19 different states, and my membership started declining, and we were doing a lot of live events. And what I realized is I would go to the events and I'm like, I've been casting this vision for 6 years. I don't need to do it. And it was declining. The minute I started casting the vision at the beginning of everything, I mean, this works with teams, we always want to be casting our vision, even if it sounds like a broken record, because that's what people hold on to. And that's how people connect. Okay. So really, always speak the cause. Number 3, any questions about cause? Nope. Okay. Communication. So steady communication builds trust. The message doesn't have to be perfect. Really, people love that authentic, raw connection behind the scenes, where what's happening with AI, people are looking for more authenticity more than ever. So it's like they're craving it because we're being saturated with things that are not real, right? So like I said, I mean, it could be 3 really good posts that are authentic and real and talking about a challenge or a goal or what you're passionate about. You watch, you will get more bandwidth with aligning with that than all the other work that's going on. So ideas, short updates, behind the scenes, progress notes, share stories, share testimonials, but always invite replies, always engage, ask a question, right? Everything you do needs to encourage engagement. That's how you get the readers to grow, become loyal, feel like their words matter, and really connect to what you're doing. The third thing is collaboration. We don't have to carry everything alone. We really we can really collaborate with other authors. We can collaborate with partners. I mean, friends, family. Like, there's so many people out here that want to help and support us. We just have to ask. So you can just some ideas on ways to collaborate is invite readers into early drafts or ideas, right? If you're working on a workshop, hey, what do you think? Here's the poll. Here's the beta. Gather a small launch team. When you're launching, get other people around you to help with the launch. And remember, always cast that vision, even if they've heard it a million times. Cast the vision, cast the vision, cast the vision. Create a space for real stories. That's where that community hub can be. Is invite them to share stories that are happening for them. Celebrate successes. Share challenges they might be happening. Partner with leaders who support your messages. Find those leaders that are either leaders that are already readers in that, or leaders that you want to align with, and be really intentional with that. So simple code of honor helps everyone work together with respect, really become clear on how you like to work together. And collaboration multiplies your reach and your energy. So any questions about communication or collaboration? Okay, number 5, consistency. So consistency builds safety. It builds trust. It helps them know what to expect. We're all kind of like kids, and when kids have a schedule, what do? They function a little bit better, right? We need that consistency. So, but I also believe that it's so important to align with your ideal life for you. You're number one in this. It's not about what the customers want. It's like, okay, I want to work on Wednesday and Thursday, right? So really get clear on what that consistency looks like for you. Set a weekly or monthly even rhythm that you're going to be able to commit to. If you host an event, keep it steady, right? Like Juliet has this event, we can count on it being here and being steady. If you create a Facebook group, be steady, right? And if you have to disappear for a week, hey guys, I'll be back, but I'm going here. Like, really communicate with them so that they know what's going on, send updates, and again, ask questions that spark engagement. That consistency is so important in what you're doing. And so I want to share a couple stories that have really impacted my life, and why community is so amazing. And again, you heard me talk about the economic experience, that book, but there is this incredible movie called Batkid. Has anybody seen that? Okay. It is a must watch, and get your box of tissues because it is, I mean, it's a tearjerker, but I want you to wear the hat also of how do you create a movement, right? How do you get people behind you? Because when you can look at it through those two eyes. So Make-A-Wish Foundation had a little boy who was ill, and he wanted to save Gotham City or save his city and be Batman. And it literally shares this incredible story and how so many people get behind this movie, this movement of this little kid. And so I really encourage you to watch it just because, again, you can just see what happens in a movement. And there's other movements I've been so blessed to be a part of. One is the United States Green Building Coalition. They don't have a movie, but he's got a great book called From Greed to Green. David Godfrey, I think is his name. And now this is a global movement where they're doing green buildings all over the world. And this is something that started like in the early 2000s, and it was incredible. And it didn't take a lot of money, right? And so when it comes to creating a movement around your book, these are a couple of tools, and especially the Batkid of like, how do you do that? And really inviting people. Is everybody okay asking for help or asking for support? Amanda?
It
I'd
is
love to see
so
the men on this call. We can't see any of the men.
Yeah.
Just
I know,
But
David,
what I think is
Anthony, come on.
what I think is really interesting, and I've worked with Shannon and Juliet for quite a while, and the part of asking for help is there's a level of vulnerability, and it is so much more helpful if you just break down that wall, get vulnerable, and ask for that help instead of waiting until you're so far into something that you don't even realize you need help. So, yeah, that level of vulnerability that comes with asking for help. But it's only for me personally, when I got to that point, when I was able to be vulnerable enough and say, yeah, let's look at what we're doing here and get it together, that things really started to move for me. So, yeah, I think it's really hard because most of us are solopreneurs. We're out to save the world, and you know, we can't save the world if someone is saving us. Well, that's BS. You need saved too.
Yeah, and it could be as much, I definitely have had to learn to ask for help. And sometimes it's difficult when we're building something and yet we have things going on. And so, I remember in real estate, I'm like, I don't want them to know I'm running this other business. They don't think I can take care of them. Right. And so sometimes we have certain beliefs. And so it could be I'd like your feedback. Like some people are not comfortable asking for help. And I love using the statement in an elevator pitch of, I'm looking for somebody, like I could be talking to you, Lynn, and saying, like, I want this to be directed at you. And I share what it is, but hey, Lynn, I'm looking for somebody that is looking to do this, this, and this. Who do you know? And that who do you know, she may open up her Rolodex and go, oh, this is who I know. But she may go, that's me, right? So there's a way to also, if you're trying to strengthen that muscle, obviously the more direct, the more authentic, the more powerful it can be. But there are ways to still engage people in feedback and who do you know and things like that to do that. But asking for help is really powerful in getting people aligned with your vision and mission. And we have family and friends that want to help us. They just need to know, right? Let's see here. And then I'm going to open up for questions. I'm almost done. So, why does this matter? Not every author wants to build or run a big community. That's okay. At least build your database, right? And that's what I love about Juliet and her platform building. And she gets you set up before your book. She works it during the book. She works it after the book. That's all what she's about, is like building that that platform, that infrastructure that, how do you, because as she said, the book is not going to make you all the money. It's what you do with the book that makes you money. And books will fade without community around them, but movements will grow. And so when you build community, you build readers who stay, readers who share your work, readers who cheer you on, readers who buy your books every single time you write. And so a community becomes the foundation. And so your book is not just a book, your book's an invitation. It can spark a movement. Your book can lead to an initiative that grows far beyond every page. It can build a community, it can build an impact. And the biggest thing is that it can create raving fans. So one of the ways that I love working with individuals such as yourself is I have the Power of One, I call it the Trailblazer Training Series. And this is a 3-part series, but we work together all week long. And in this training, we help teach you to speak so that they'll listen, right? We teach you how to really communicate in a way that others will want to take action. And a big part of it is how to create those raving fans. Our next one is in February. And what's so powerful is we meet on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but you're in a private container and I'm working with you all week long. So literally you can say, okay, what about this on my pitch? Or, here are the power partners that I'm working with. Or power partners is an incredible term that I've learned from Juliet, but we all have those raving fans that want to be on the inside team and support us. And so that when I say the word power partners, I think we all have people that want to be a part of that. And so we really focus on that element. So I just wanted to share that. Make sure you mention that you were here with Juliet, or I'll check to make sure. But would love to have you a part of the Power of One marketing, because as it says on the website, we can't keep up with AI. And it really can be that one partnership, that one right message that, I've seen businesses have their books filled for years with really that alignment with the right message and the right partners.
Well, thank you, Shannon. Do you guys have any questions? That was fabulous. Lynn, do you want to tell us? I put the link in. You guys can go to bamagtraining.com. You'll see that over in the chat. Lynn, tell us about what you're going to talk about next month. And that training page is set up if you want to go over and register. Great way to start 2026.
Yes, that's exactly it. The way to start 2026. Just for anybody who doesn't know who the heck I am, my name is Lei. I live in Ontario, Canada. I am a mindset trainer and a strategist. I was a registered dietitian working in healthcare as an employee, had no idea, and back then, no desire to start a business. The universe guided me through this transition to really just literally save my life. And now I am an entrepreneur. I made that transition and I learned so much. My passion is helping others through my own experience to shorten their journey. Whether you're building your own business right now, whether you are also coming from an entrepreneurial or employment background, or you have been an entrepreneur, you are a life coach, and you want to take your business to a whole other level. I love sharing particularly my mistakes because I believe you can learn from other people's mistakes. So you don't have to make those mistakes. And I'm very open talking about vulnerability. It takes courage to be vulnerable. Absolutely. And I believe there's such power when you learn from each other's moment where they fell flat on their face many times in my journey, and they got back up somehow. And what did you do? And that will serve other people. And I am passionate to see other people really achieve their fullest potential. I believe mindset first. So next month, January 9th, I love that day. January 9th, we're going to get together in this setting, and I would love to support you to create your 2026 with a beginning in mind and really dial into your mindset so you have a focal point. People say, okay, I resonate with it's my own limiting beliefs, and it's my own, if you're really into the journey, paradigms. You're familiar with that term. It's my own limiting paradigms that's holding me back. And what are they? I need to find it. Stop it. I'm like, because the only thing you're going to find more is more of your own limiting paradigms. Like, that's not going to help you. The way to really train yourself to create more success is to by focusing on that success. So what is it? People can either coming from this egocentric point to say, yeah, this is like, oh, this is my, been there, done that. Yeah. Know what that feels like. Or they set a goal where they're playing so small. So what does that mean to coming from your heart, your soul, creating this vision that makes your heart just go, oh, I love this. And my human mind is going, yeah, we can do it. We don't know how, that's okay, but we love it and we can do it. That is when you get your entire beingness on board. That is when you start to manifest. But the duration is you still got to implement very smart strategy because your strategy allows you to receive. That's a channel for you to receive. So that's what we're going to talk about in January. Thank you, Julia.
You're welcome. And you guys, the link is over in the chat. And for those of you who jumped on later, if you go up to the top of the chat, we are transitioning Breakthrough Author Magazine into a weekly magazine because people said, oh, it got so big, I couldn't sit down and read it. So now we'll have about 6 articles, book promotion. We'll have all sorts of stuff in the weekly magazine. It'll be much shorter, so you can read it very quickly. So hop on over there and subscribe to that as well. So, all right. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. And hopefully we'll see you next month.
Can we say happy holidays? I know it's only December 5th, but...
Yeah, this comes out December 30th. So, yes, it will still be happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you do, have a happy holiday.
Have a happy day. Awesome.